we got to talk about Miss Kemsley and her lawsuit.
Tell me what your
Dorit.
thoughts are. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of thoughts. So tell me.
What are the people's thoughts that these are
Well,
grifters?
this is brought up in all the news stories, I would say, about this in the bloggers. Now, they don't come out and say that Dorit and PK are having financial issues, but they start to bring up the past, which is one of the things, I guess, I don't guess, I know this is a news story, is that PK reportedly owed over $2 million to the Bellagio casino in Vegas. And they gonna get their money, honey. So I guess he's been working for years to pay off that debt. Now that's just one, right? Over the years, we've heard of, I think, bankruptcies, and I got to go back and like look at all the things. But it's interesting because it's bringing up a lot of financial questions again, I guess, about these two. And this nurse alleges that back in the fall, Dorit had a procedure. This woman is a nurse that will come and stay with you when you're recovering from surgery so you can stay privately in your house and yada, yada. And she'll monitor you. $100 an hour, 86 hours the woman was there. So Dorit owes her $8,600 and will not pay. So this woman's taking her to court. I don't know. Does this signal something bigger, or we shouldn't read into anything?
This is another one that's complicated for me. Okay, first of all, for years, I once went on a podcast and they said, who is the next, Randall scandal way back in the day? And I said, I think Dorit and PK, they have a house of cards. I don't understand their financials, and I feel like it's all going to come crashing down. Since then, see, here's the problem. I mean, we all know, I know Dorit, I've met her, but when we just recently went to Homeless, Not Toothless, and we were face to face with Miss Kemsley, she was lovely to Sarah Fraser, and she was lovely to David Yontef. She was lovely.
Yeah,
She was
great.
lovely. So for all the people that think I'm a monster and calling Melissa all sorts of names, which I'll call her again if she pisses me off, there is something like, I mean, when I have a moment with you as a human being, Dorit has won me over for the moment. It changes. I'm a flip-flopper. Remember that. So right now I feel Miss Kemsley was so lovely. So I don't want to sit up here and say all this. Look, nurses are $100 an hour. That is the going rate. Some are a little less, but especially in Beverly Hills. Regardless of the bigger picture, look, I think, again, like, I understand, like, Sutton has a lot of money to me, and Kyle and Mauricio have a lot of money, and people's definitions of a lot of money are different. My definition might be a little different. You've called me out on this show when I said something like $1 million, and that's, what the hell is that? I can't wipe my ass with that. You had a moment schooling me. I don't know. Like, it wouldn't shock me if there is a house of cards. That's all. Like, Kyle and Mauricio, the agency is a real thing. Forget about the damn buying Beverly Hills. It's a real thing with a gazillion offices and real agents. And Mauricio gets a portion of every fucking agent in every country, in every state, everywhere. Tyler Whitman from $1 Million Listing opened the agency right here down the street in the Hamptons. I'll see him tonight at Almond. That is not the point. I understand where that comes. Like, I understand it. I don't really understand. I love Culture Club. I've seen Culture Club many times. I mean, they're not selling out Madison Square Garden. They're smaller venues. Boy George has very low funds. I don't really understand where all of their money comes from. It's not really up. So it wouldn't shock me. But regardless of that, I mean, why aren't you paying your bills if that's true? I mean, look, I don't think someone can get paid and still sue. I mean, it takes 1 second. Is it in your bank account or not? And if it's not, then it sounds like you didn't get paid. It seems like a pretty open and shut case, right?
Well, I mean, no, because we don't know Dorit's side of it. We don't know. All we hear is this woman saying, "Well, I was there for 86 hours." Well, were you, or were you, or half the time you were on your damn phone out sitting by the pool? When you were supposed to be taking my blood pressure.
Yes, Sarah.
I mean, what were you doing? So we haven't heard Dorit's side. I don't know. I never know people's financial situation. How many people in your life? I know so many in my life How they afford their damn lifestyle, I don't know. Meanwhile, I'm like strapped to this fucking podcast microphone 24/7, with the two of us trying to make a dollar. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what their financial situation is. I want to hear Dorit's side. Like I said, the news outlets that are carrying this at the bottom of every story, they're going, well, PK had XYZ. He might have in the past, and now they have money. I don't know. I mean, maybe PK has royalties of some sorts to Culture Club and other acts, There was also a member last season of Beverly Hills, PK and Mauricio were going to do some business together. Maybe they're getting money and doing that.
Is it that all these people live I don't understand how, this has nothing to do with Dorit, just how does every housewife get sued? It's not like private citizens don't, like, I'm not being sued. Like, you're not, how do people just get sued multiple times? This has nothing to do with Dorit. We can go down any franchise. I just don't understand the concept of like, you were sued multiple times for multiple different things. Why aren't you being sued? Why isn't every listener of this podcast being sued? I mean, maybe they are, but like, why aren't these people that are not on TV not being sued? I don't get it.
Well, but people sue you once you're high profile. I mean, because even if like you and I and a lot of our listeners are very, very smart people, much smarter than I am. They know that just because you're famous does not mean you have money. But a lot of people watching these shows, they think these people are very rich. And I mean, I don't know the scoop, but Dorit and PK at one point did own J-Lo's home, sold it, and now live in Encino. I mean, you don't know what someone's financial situation is unless you've got access to their bank account. But a lot of people think these people are very, very wealthy. And that's why they're getting sued. It's high profile. And, you've seen this. We've seen it. Some may argue with about the Chrisleys, although I disagree. But a lot of times, when you sue a celebrity, lots of times courts make an example of a celebrity. So if they've done something wrong, a lot of times they will get a harsher punishment because they are setting an example for other people of society. So that's why they're getting sued. People aren't going to sue us because they're not going to get the attention they want. And you can't get blood from a stone. I mean, no, I'm kidding.
Listen, I am all for this.
I don't want to be sued.
I am all for this.
That's why.
What else do you want to talk about? You know what I want to talk about? We almost made it through an entire show. I know we just recorded another show before this without mentioning anything Scandal or Vanderpump Rules, but this isn't really necessarily Scandal, but I love how Lala shades Luis on Watch What Happens. And I am here with Kim and everyone who thinks I'm a tree hugger. I mean, I don't give Luis a free pass. Kim D and I say so much about Luis. I mean, I guess we're just so insignificant. But I love how Teresa has now blocked Lala because she kind of shaded Luis and said, where there's smoke, there's fire. And maybe he's not that upstanding the way Randall wasn't. And yet here Kim D and I are that say much work. I mean, we had a whole show about Patreon called Luis's strange reunion behavior. And yet, I mean,